No, I'm not a police officer. I've been around my sister, and I believe at the right time with the proper platform, I'll be able to expound to the latter as to who's Brown Mogotsi with my underground experience or underground operations, of course. Yeah, I'll be able to share when asked as to where do I fall in this environment.
I don't know why anyone needs to assemble a commission to investigate this. I mean, the SAPC did a great job with this flow chart because some of us, okay, of us are visual learners, okay, and at this flow chart, brilliant. Thank you so much for simplifying everything. Now, Brown Mahota is just simply asked a simple question. Are you a police officer? And he goes on and on and on a random sentence. Like, what? Why? Why can people never just answer the question at hand? Are you a police officer? No. Full stop. Guys, no is a full sentence. You don't have to explain. If somebody needs an explanation, they will go further and ask the additional question. But I want to talk about what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about this flowchart. We literally see the timeline. Okay, everything started January 1, 2025. Maybe or possibly you had a hangover from the celebrations the previous night. No, no, no. But Mkulugutus were already starting the year. Okay, they were working hard for their 360 million rands. Let's listen further to hear what else he says, but I'm already concerned. He displays similar characteristics um, with the police minister who has just been placed on a special leave of absence. What are those similar characteristics? They just can't answer simple questions. Both of them. They can't. They're so evasive. It's giving Mkologoto, it's giving underground, it's giving mafia, it's giving captured, allegedly. But we'll hear, okay? We'll hear from the commission what they find, if they do find anything. Let's continue listening on.
Now, you are not in a position to explain to us how you find yourself in this policing environment, but you were the center stage of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi's press conference on Sunday. What do you make of these allegations that he's leveled against you, the undue and misproper relationship that you have between Minister Senzo Mchunu as well as Vusmusi Matlala? Those allegations.
Yeah, first of all, I need to even show the viewers at home and South Africans that General Mkhwanazi's press conference happened at the very wrong time. The timing is very inappropriate because now, like he alluded during his press conference, I spoke to him, I sent him a message last year, but only after the arrest of the 5 generals and these other brigadiers, he decides now to call a press conference.
These are the brigadiers that he is talking about, but is it true to say only after the arrest of these major generals, brigadiers, and dontonis is the reason why the general went ahead and did his combative press conference? I'm gonna say no, 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 no. I think, sir, you are high on his list of revelations. These guys were only mentioned barely, barely. All he said was conveniently after Kumalo was arrested. He literally said just half a sentence, but you, sir, he told us quite a bit. So I think you're trying to throw us off. And no, we listen, okay? We don't judge. You're throwing us off. Incorrect. I don't agree with that. But let's continue and hear where he goes, because it's you have to stay attentive with this man. And one would say, okay, one would be tempted to say he definitely is a politician. He plays with his words and says absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
In addition, you'll be surprised that I think on Thursday last week, just before his press conference, he did talk to me, and from him calling me, there are possibilities that I was checking on him, but he called me, and we also spoke about the need to save the country, and the fear that every policeman can now obtain a J50 to arrest another a policeman. The J50 is a warrant of arrest.
Like I said, his MO remains very, very consistent, just continuously just speaking and putting random sentences together in an attempt to avoid answering the question. And then now he just throws in a jagger, okay? He just throws in policemen can now do a J50 warrant of arrest. Hey guys, it sounds amazing, okay? He thinks he's just given us this little nugget, okay? The state secret that a J50, and then he translates it for us to say a J50 is a warrant of arrest. So we've been knowing what a J50 is. Surprise, okay? We know exactly what a J50 is. Well, at least if you follow the Senzo Mchunu trial, it is part of the fact that Kelly Kumalo, there was no J50 issued because it was a prosecutorial led investigation, and the NPA said, no, we are not issuing that J50 warrant of arrest. So it is not news, okay? It is not breaking news that you have revealed what a J50 warrant of arrest is, sir. But let's continue listening on.
So I was very surprised on Sunday to hear him now bringing this thing again.
So I believe with the sentiment he shared that South African Police Service has been captured for individual and political interests, because he was also in contact with you.
Yeah, no, not necessarily that. When I speak about the timing.
Let's break down the timing, shall we? Okay, January 1, 2025. I have arranged a meeting for Sivia and the minister. They must have a solution. That's a text message that Brown sends to Kat. And then on the 2nd of January 2025, what does Kat do? Kat goes ahead and sends a payment proof to Mr. Brown. See, Kat and Mr. Brown are inside Pagati within each other over there in the WhatsApp messages. And then time moves, okay? Guys, keep track of the timeline. January 1, or should I say 1 January 2025 and January 2, those are complete office shutdowns in terms of the payments department, in terms of the procurement departments. Everybody's gone home for the holidays. They're back possibly on the 20th of January. Keep that in mind. So you see, it's such a convenient time for monies, large payments to pass through. Anyway, and then what happens next? So next up is the 14th of January 2025. What happens? Mr. Brown tells Kat to finalize his invoices. Okay. And then on the 15th of January 2025, Kat submits his invoice to SAPS. And then on the 26th of January, it continues. Brown updates the minister. Brown updates the minister and says the funding guy, he's going to be in Joburg. Why does a minister need to know about a funding guy for 3 billion is going to be in Joburg? A police minister. But let's continue listening on.
So I was very surprised on Sunday to hear him now bringing this thing again.
So I believe with the sentiment he shared that South African Police Service has been captured for individual and political interests, because he was also in contact with you.
Yeah, no, not necessarily that. When I speak about the timing, amongst those 5 generals, there is one major general by the name of General Lushaba. He was born 1993, but he's a major general. He's above a brigadier. I'm not questioning his age being attached to the position, but given that there are so many people who have served with similar qualification that he has, being warrant officers or captain for more than 30 years. But it's not my place to talk about.
Well, General Lushaba was arrested. He's a general. A general is above a brigadier. And let me tell you something, because I know a lot of things. I feel like you don't know that a brigadier is lower than a general, and he points that out to the interviewer. Sir, get to the parts about you. Stop deflecting again, talking about non-essential things to the points at hand. How do you know the police minister? That is the question at hand, period. Lushaba ungenapi. Where does Lushaba enter? Okay. Not that I'm defending Lushaba for his activities, but then he goes on to the story we already know. We've all been talking about it. Him and the lady of the night that came to his house and took his laptop and. Again, deflection strategy. Why deflect if you have nothing to hide? Let's continue listening on.
This same General Lushaba, he happened to go to Pretoria in one of the nightclubs and met one girl whom he took to his house. He took the girl to his house. I don't know what happened at night, but in the morning, the girl was nowhere to be found with a state cell phone and a state laptop. And instead of him approaching the authority to say, perhaps I had a visitor at home or something, he decided to open a case of housebreaking. And guess what? The housebreaking case was opened, it was called Docket 38. My sister, don't be surprised when I said I'm being around. The information that I'm giving you, I say, if I'm questioned at the right platform, I'll be able to allude this to. How do I end up having this information? And it does not come from Minister Senzo Mchunu, General Sibiya, or General Khan, or anyone of those General Mkhwana has mentioned.
So you confirm that you have access to privileged policing information?
No, it's not that I have access. This environment information comes to you. The proper platform will give me an opportunity, if asked, to say, where does this and this come from and how do you handle that?
You're saying through your relationship with Minister Mchunu, you do not have access to such privileged information?
He never shares police information.
Then where do you get this information, which is privileged and sensitive?
Like I said, only the proper platform can allow me to divulge.
This can only mean one thing for us. Search party for the proper platform. Where is it located? How can we get you there urgently so you can get on that platform and respond to all these questions? How do you have sensitive information? How do you know about Docket 38? So you also know the General Lushaba. Why do you know the General Lushaba? Do you see? You know more. Are there more messages coming? Wow. This is a developing story. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, okay? I'll catch you for sure on my next upload. Bye.